Hey, hello friends. Thank you for joining me. It's 10:35 p.m. at my house. This is this is what you do when you're a full-time artist and your day gets all chopped up with meetings and other responsibilities. You paint late. Anyway, hey, thanks for joining me. My name's Dan. This is Daily Art Adventure number 642, and I've called it there on my YouTube channel, Pushing Abstract on Top of Representation. Okay, just a real quick introduction. All you regulars already know this, but this is a turning point painting. I really believe it's going to be a turning point painting in my career. I'm very excited about that. I mean like a 5-year turning point, so a big one. This is not like the turning point of the month or the year. No, this is a big deal, and that's all I'm going to say about it. But I'll describe it real simply, is that for several years, I've been doing an abstract painting underneath a representational. That's the first thing I do. You regulars know that. Those, if you're a newcomer, go back and watch. You'll see, oh yeah, it really does. I do a complete abstract painting underneath the representational. And for the last several years, couple years is more appropriate. When I finish, 90% of the time I go, oh man, I wish I'd let more of the underpainting show through. So I had just something clicked in my thick noggin a couple weeks ago, and where all of a sudden I went, oh, now I know how to do it. So I actually do know how to do it. Let me tell you, it's real simple. I have four practices that I'm doing in order to keep the original abstract painting more visible in the representational finished painting. And the answer is, when I'm doing the representational painting and I come up to, say, a line that's, because I'm painting right on top of an abstract, when I come up to a line, stop, skip over it, and then start up again. That's number one. Number two, go ahead and paint over it in the representational stage, but then wipe it off with a rag. I guess I only have three, not four. Number three, maybe I missed one, is after I've painted representational, then come back and paint on top of the representational painting, or the representational image, with abstract. And I'll show you up close. I guess I'll do that right now. I'll show you some of what that is looking like. So it's here, especially in the sky, you can see these big arching marks that have nothing to do with realism, right? So I know this will drive some people crazy, but people who are a little more sophisticated visually will love this kind of stuff. So there's a lot of this painting that's not finished yet, especially, I'll just point you down here for a second. Oh, I should have raised it up instead. There we go. All of this is still that's just all the acrylic underpainting with an oil glaze on top of it. It's very unfinished. But the rest of the painting is quite finished. Whoops. And let me, again, zoom in just for instance. I can say, yeah, these three buildings right here. This is the best example, but this is too. This is very accurate drawing. Okay, here's the photograph. You don't have to just take my word for it. It's very accurate, very carefully, painstakingly even drawn. Same thing down here, this building at the end of the street, very carefully represented. That's part of the objective, is to have more mess and more representational at the same time. All right, now let me talk about, I'm just discovering, it's all discovery for me because I'm doing something new. Especially that third strategy I mentioned, which is where I come back, which is what I'm doing right now. Come back and reinforce the abstract on top of the representational. Let me zoom into a little area that I just did that with just a few minutes ago. Okay. Adjust you a little bit. There we go. All right, so you see I had in the original abstract, there was a big evidently purple and red swooshes here. And it dawns on me little by little, oh, I should do broken color. But do you see how this part of the building, of course, is darker, and down this strip right here is lighter. So I have dark raspberry plum, and then light, whatever that is, and then dark again. Because, so that's where I'm at. Same thing down here. Yeah, see this, there's a strip of light color in the building right there. So the abstract matches. And that's, as I'm conducting this entire experiment, it's like, oh, dang, that's what I should be doing. So I've been painting for several hours today without your company. I know that, of all the nerve, right? I'm supposed to include you in everything I do, and I like to, usually, but it just hasn't been the right moment. And so this is going to be a very short broadcast, but maybe a fun one where I can show you some of my newfound, you know, like a light bulb came out. It's like, oh man, that's what I should do. Okay, so do you see this big orange swoosh right here? Comes all the way down here, goes all the way up to the top of the painting. Okay, but right here, it's not, it's a broken value. In other words, it's light blue, then dark orange, and then light blue. And now I'm going, oh, wait a minute, I know what I should do there. I should make that, and of course, if you're a regular, if you follow me often, you know, I am not a stranger to the concept of broken values. That's a normal part of my vocabulary. That's what I do normally. Now it dawns me, oh, that's what I should do here. So I've just mixed up an orange that I'm hoping, I actually did something, and I'll do it again when I stop broadcasting. I actually picked up my cell phone, put it on, turned on the camera, set the camera, see, that's way too dark, isn't it? But not to worry. I set the camera on black and white photography, and then held it up, and that helps me gauge if I can still see this stripe, if I may call it that, if I can still see this line when I'm looking at it in a black and white photograph, then it's not the right value. I'm going to use that trick some more. Cool, huh? Okay, now it's too light. I'm darkening it again. That's it. Do you get the idea? This excites me. It really does. Now, it doesn't have to be, and I might decide later on that this is just way too crazy and high chroma, you know, even for me. But at the moment, so I can come back and like do a pale blue orange, quote unquote blue orange on top of that. But in the meantime, at the moment, I'm really liking and thinking this is a good idea. In other words, make these abstract marks, most of them, broken color. Say equal value, equal lightness, darkness. Let's do another one down here. So here I have, again, this is sort of a pinkish slash in the sky. I've got some brushes here that already have some dark pink on them. Let's see what, so what would happen, I'm saying to myself, what would happen if I mixed up a light pink. Now that's way too dark, but don't panic yet, because I'm practicing a very typical, sorry, my head was in your way, sorry. A very standard operating procedure for me, which is put down a value, put down a color, and then come back immediately thereafter or shortly thereafter and do a lighter version of that same color right on top of it. So that's what I'm doing here. It's okay that my first whack was too dark, so that the dark marks still show up here and there. So let's see. Now, I have, just to let you know what my brain is thinking in the midst of all this, is I still have an entire additional layer to go, at least one layer on this painting, and that is a late stage, what I sometimes call late stage glazing. And I'm thinking that on this in this new era, this new world that I'm painting in, that that late glaze, and then after I glaze, then I paint again on top of it, will be quite significant. The biggest, let me zoom out here and then I'll be done. Hello, Harold. Good to hear from you, man. Miss you. Hope you're doing well. Look forward to catching up. I'm going to make this broadcast really, really short. First of all, I want you to know I'm having a ball. I've had more fun doing this painting than honestly any painting I can remember. Now, I may have forgotten. That's very possible. But I can't remember ever having more fun doing any painting than I've had doing this one. So that's good news. Doesn't mean it's the best, but that's a good indicator. In spite of the fact that it's 90 degrees out here in the garage, still at 10 o'clock at night. The other thing is, I'm having fun partly because I have really enjoyed sinking my teeth into good, accurate drawing. You know, that really scratches an itch in me. I like when I look at other people's paintings, man, I like to see good rendering. Now, I don't care for hyperrealism as a finished product. So anyway, I'm not going to chase that any. But just let me zoom in here for a second and show you. Like, I really enjoyed working pretty darn hard on these cars, getting them right. Same thing over here. Now, all this stuff was done in acrylics, but then likewise, I mentioned earlier this building and this one way up here, and all of them really. So that's one. You know, I've enjoyed showing off, which you don't get to do too much when you're like an impressionistic painting. You know, everything's kind of loosey and messy. I've talked about that before. That's not really what good impressionism is, but that's what it devolves to often. So that's been fun. But I have found that because of me trying to retain the messy, if you will, underpainting, it's really helped me stay loose. Now let me show you some parts of this painting that I'm particularly proud of, and they're essentially finished, which is like this area in here. And I don't know how well you're seeing that, but that is very loose, very messy, accurate but messy, which is exactly what I'm aiming for. Accurate and messy, expressive, abstract, designerly, if you will. There are other parts. Here's another part of the painting over here. This area, right? So it's a tree. This is an early spring photograph, so that the leaves are, range from yellow to spring green, and even a bit of orange. So this, very messy, very abstract. Here's another bit over here where the color is really popping. So somehow this strategy, this tactic has triggered something in me that is really working, and it's allowing me to stay messier, looser at the same time that I'm being very accurate. So some parts are messy, some are tight, but everything's accurate and messy. I don't know how to describe that any better than that. Anyway, I think I'm going to stop that broadcast there. Oh, I had some chats going on here a minute ago, didn't I? There we go. Whoops, hang on. Let me find you guys again. Raymond Abbott's $2, my friend. Thank you so much. Very much appreciated. And Uncle 60, another coffee and donut money. As long as it's not Starbucks, because $4. Anyway, thank you very much, Horatio. I appreciate that. And hello, Karen. Good to hear from you again. Oh, Raymond Abbott, whatever happened to the Boneyard cityscape? Is that the skyline with the cemetery in front? I am happy to report I finished it, and it sold at a fundraiser about 4 weeks ago at a silent auction. So no auctioneer driving up prices. There were about 20, let me brag just a tiny bit. No, celebrate, not brag, celebrate. There were about 20, 25 other artists. Opening bid for most of them was $100. My opening bid was $4,000, and it sold for $6,000. I got half. So that was very, very encouraging. That's the first of my new era paintings that I've sold. So that was exciting. Teaching your 6-year-old grandson broken colors. That's great. That's great. And Harold, you made a comment and then left it. Sorry, then deleted it. Anyway, I almost caught it. I know you're busy in Lynchburg. Look forward to catching up. Uncle 60, can you go backwards on abstract colors and lines? Yes, absolutely. I can do anything. I can reverse. I can go different colors. Uncle 60, paint nice, then go messy. Almost, except, no, I think it needs to be more like this. Neat, messy, neat, messy, neat, messy, neat, messy, which has been a part of my conscious process, as you know, for months now. This is just taking, I think, the messy in particular to a new level. But also, for some reason, because of that, I feel very free to be very illustrative and tight and accurate in the accurate parts. So anyway, it's really exciting to be excited about a painting. It really is. And I'm sure that I'll broadcast tomorrow. I still have some meetings tomorrow, but not as bad as today. And I can't wait to see what happens next year. And appreciate your company, everybody, and appreciate your super chats, you guys. Raymond and Uncle 60, the rest of you, they're showing you how to do it. I appreciate it. Thanks, and I'll be back in touch tomorrow. Bye-bye.